Resist first appeared on Oculus Quest 2 at the end of 2021, developed by Binary Mill. Now these guys have a great track record in VR, with unique and high quality VR titles already under their belt. And their newest release, Into Black, is already available on Quest, but it's soon coming to PSVR2. And for me, this is the best game they've ever made. But for today's video, we are taking another look at Resist, this time on PSVR2, which is coming in a couple of days. This re-release sees Resist make use of PSVR2's best features, including headset haptics, a super smooth 90Hz frame rate, some extra nice lighting, new reflections, HDR colours and eye tracking. And for today's review, I've played around 4 to 5 hours and completed about 50% of the game so far. And the reason I've had to stop playing, for the first time in a very long time, I've suffered some motion sickness. And that is after playing this game for 4 hours straight, which may not have been the best idea looking back on it, since this game is basically a full-on Spiderman game with guns. And if you turn off all the comfort options, it really doesn't hold back on being a fantastic roller coaster of a game once the training wheels are off, and then all the action gets going. But for those of you who do need comfort options, there is everything you could want, including options on how you actually control the way you turn in mid-air. And this is done by either using controller tilting or simply turning your head to where you're looking. And for me, both work just as good. So yeah, unfortunately I had to stop playing after a while, but I've definitely seen enough, and I've obviously previously reviewed this game to tell you exactly how good or bad Resist is on PSVR2. Firstly, the game's story sees you take on the role of a lady called Sam Finch, who's helping some resistance fighters overthrow some evildoer in the city who was framed due for the murder of the current mayor. From there, it spirals into a sci-fi sandbox shoot 'em up with lots of random events that help increase your XP and give you level points to spend on improving your guns, the damage done with those guns, your health, enhanced abilities, and these abilities affect how you move around the city, which is a mixture of swinging, jumping and jetpacking. The story almost forces you to take part in some of these side quests, which there is a lot of them, and it's a bit like a cross between Assassin's Creed and Batman. You go to one of the highest points with a tower, hack it, and then you'll unlock a small area of new challenges inside the city, which is a mixture of platforming, swinging through checkpoints while avoiding obstacles, shooting targets or drones, hacking billboards to spread the Resistance's uprising message, and a few others. As you go about the city, you will see cameras that, if they spot you, will increase your wanted level, the same as GTA, and these will send drones, and if it increases, large walking tanks, and then eventually a large tripod looking dude, very similar to something you'd see in War of the Worlds, as your wanted level gets really high. And through the story, you have to fight, survive and grow, all whilst trying your best to save the city. The main gameplay call to actions are varied, but after a while it does get a little bit repetitive. But the voice work is really good, which is key for the story to land. And for the first hour exploring the city, it helps expand on the reason for you to play and is pretty impressive overall. But there's no doubt, even with all the new features added for PSVR2, it does look like an older VR title. Back in 2021, this was a very impressive title for Quest 2, especially after you've got to grips with the swinging mechanics and you're picking up some serious speed through the city streets. But in 2025, it does look a bit basic by today's standards. And what I mean by that is, this was, or clearly is, a Quest game, but now with some extra bells and whistles attached. And even with the extra colours and super smooth frame rate that PSVR2 brings to this party, you can kind of tell this game was made a while back. That's not to say it doesn't impress though. The draw distance is great and the sense of scale feels awesome too. There's some nice weather effects, and at night the streets take on a beautiful neon colour scheme which looks very impressive on PSVR2's OLED panel. The weapons are nicely detailed, but overall I can't shake that this is an old game, and the gameplay now feels more sandboxy and repetitive than I remember before. There was a few times I got a bit bored after the 2-hour mark, because by this time Resist has pretty much shown you all the cards it has to play with. Then it relies heavily on the story, which as I said is pretty well told, and your urge to unlock more abilities as a reason to keep playing. As someone who has played it before, there's still plenty of cool moments to be had, especially using your slow-mo ability. Once you've upgraded it to work for longer periods of time, you'll be swinging through the legs of the big walking heavily armed mechs, taking down their gun turrets and their knee joints, and overall it still feels exceptionally cool. But I did find the game got significantly easier after I focused on upgrading all my weapons, and this may be just because I played the game differently this time. I also fired up on Quest 3 to see the new enhancements, and it does actually run and look nearly nearly identical to PSVR2, but there is definitely some extra nice lighting and it does feel a tad smoother on PSVR2. The issues I faced while I played this pre-release build was losing my tracking of my controllers a few times, which was easily fixed by a quick restart of the game, and there was only one big bug where the game got confused and I kept falling through the world continuously and I couldn't shoot anything, which was also fixed by a simple restart. To summarise my thoughts on Resist, it's a fun and exhilarating shooter that does look good, but it does now in 2025 look a bit basic. The swinging mechanic is excellent, it's fast and it's really full on, especially if you turn off all the comfort options. The action is fun but never too overwhelming, and the sense of scale of the city is exceptionally cool. The gameplay does unfortunately get a bit repetitive, but the story kind of makes up for it, and I'm assuming if the price is similar to the Quest and Steam versions right now of around $20, I think you'll have a great time for at least the first 3 to 4 hours. After that though, it may get a little thin on a reason to keep playing. If you already own it on Quest, I can't see any reason to buy it again, even with the extra features on PSVR2, because the game itself was a fantastic looking game on Quest back in 2021, and it's now only a good looking game in 2025, and that's absolutely fine. This was never meant to be a remaster, but I was kind of hoping to be wowed all over again, and unfortunately that didn't happen for me personally. If you've never seen or played Resist though, I do believe there is something for you here, and if it is indeed priced around the $20 mark, I definitely give it a buy recommendation, as I simply think there is nothing else like it on PSVR2, and even though it's old, it still has a nice level of quality, and seeing the city streets from up in the sky, packed with cars and NPCs, is still very cool to see in the headset. So that's all I've got for you today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe for more VR content, and I'll see you on the next one.